to my doll collecting channel. Today I have a really exciting video, which is unboxing a brand new, well, no, she's not brand new. She's new to me. American Girl doll. Some hints about this doll is that she is a Girl of the Year doll. I know, shocking. But first I wanted to say, look at all these stamps. Hopefully you can't see my address there. I might block it out if you can see. Anyways, let's get started and open this doll. First thing first, when I open this box, there is a lot of purple tissue paper. I hope somebody's gonna have a birthday soon. So let's see if you can guess from the back of the doll who she is. I got Grace! That's so exciting. There's enough room for 2 dolls in here, but no. They just sent me the one, which is what I purchased, but you never know. So her hair is a little bit crazy. There's some styrofoam in her hair, which I don't understand. All right, so here is Grace. Her hair is a little crazy. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Grace, or maybe American Girl, this is the Girl of the Year for 2015. And you're probably wondering, why didn't you get her during that year if you loved her so much? Because she has this Parisian aesthetic, which is so my thing. Is because I was entering high school, or I was in high school, so I was totally not collecting dolls because I'm like, but this Grace, she came up for an amazing deal, and she was from Canada, so I didn't have to pay a lot of import fees, which is awesome. I didn't have to pay any import fees. And her limbs are a little bit loose. She does have some like sparkles going on in her face. So I thought I would answer a question which I get a lot, which is the difference between Murray Grace, who's in the pink plaid dress, and Grace. So Murray Grace, I love her. She is definitely a fan, not a fan favorite, it's just a me favorite. I love Murray Grace. She's one of my favorite dolls in my collection, and she's really special to me because I got her as a kid. Now, Murray Grace was released in 2011, and I believe she retired in either 2015 or 2014 for the launch of the Be Forever revamp of the historical characters. Grace is the Girl of the Year for 2015. So both of these dolls, Grace was only around for 1 year and Murray Grace was around for a few years, but both of these dolls, if you have them in your collection, they're pretty rare because they didn't last for very long. So count yourself lucky if you have either of them in your collection, or like me, and now you have both of them. Murray Grace, as you can see, she has kind of these mint green eyes compared to Grace, who has these bright blue eyes. They both have blue eyes, but they're kind of like a different shade of blue. I think I said Murray Grace was more like a mint green. They look more green in comparison with Grace, who has these bright blue eyes, but when they're on their own, they're definitely blue. They just look more green in comparison. Murray Grace has a lighter brown hair with these pin curls. If you take a closer look at her hair, she has kind of these white, not quite white, but more of like a, I don't even know if they're blonde or just a lighter brown kind of highlights in her hair to add some texture to it. I don't know if you can see, hopefully the angle is pretty good, but as you can see, there is some like definition in her hair. Looking at Grace, Grace also has some highlights in her hair, but her hair is definitely more dark than Murray Grace's hair. The base color is not quite a black. It's not even very close to black hair, but it's definitely a dark brown, and there is some lighter brown strands in her hair, kind of to give her some definition. Now, Murray Grace doesn't have any freckles, and Grace does have some brown freckles there. Murray Grace and Grace, even though they have similar face molds, they're technically not the same. So Murray Grace's face mold is the Murray Grace face mold, and up until last year, she was the only doll to have this face mold, and then they brought out the Murray Grace face mold out of retirement last year with some of the new Truly Me dolls, and then eventually Covey, which is the Girl of the Year for 2023. So the Murray Grace face mold, even though it wasn't around for like 10 years, it has recently made a comeback. Josefina mold has never gone out of style, which is what Grace has. It was released with Josefina back in the 90s. I don't know exactly when Josefina was released. I want to say 96 or 93. I don't know. I think Addie was 93, so maybe it was 96 that Josefina was released. I don't know for sure. I don't know if you can tell from my voice that I am absolutely terrified, but there is a giant black spider on my wall, and I am absolutely afraid and terrified of spiders. I can't even look at images of spiders without getting absolutely freaked out. I do not like spiders, but we're going to persevere because, you know, I'm a YouTuber. This is the big leagues, everybody. But no, just if I deal with the spider, I'm gonna absolutely freak out and not be good for 1 or 2 hours. So we're gonna deal with the spider after this video. Here's also a comparison of their hair, so you can see the hair color a little bit better and the hair length. So Marie Grace's hair is very, very long, and Grace is still pretty long. It's a fairly long hair for some of the dolls. So overall, I do think that they're quite different from each other. I mean, I love Marie Grace. It's really hard to answer the question if you should have both of a certain type of doll in your collection, which is a question I get a lot. Like, do you think that having Grace and Marie Grace in your collection is too much? Or do you think that having Claudia and Cecile in your collection is too much? And it's really hard to answer those questions because American Girl doesn't release dolls that are the exact same. And sometimes they release dolls that are truly Mies and that later get turned into characters, but that's a separate issue. But for the character dolls, they do make them different enough. So in my opinion, I think it's worth, you know, if you want to have all of either the Girl of the Years or all the historicals, it's worth it to me. I do think that they're, you know, different enough, but that's something that you have to answer on your own about what your values are and what you want to do in your collection. Other dolls that I see compared a lot is Sage, the Girl of the Year for 2013, who's in the blue dress, and Grace, who is the Girl of the Year for 2015. And I think the reason these dolls get compared a lot is because they're pretty similar for having relatively close years. So Sage has this red brown hair. It's more red, but it definitely I don't know, when I was a kid I counted it as brown, and I do see brown in it. But it's a little bit more red, is in my opinion. And she has blue eyes and freckles, and Grace has brown hair and blue eyes and freckles. So they're similar on a surface level, but if you look at them, they're fairly different from each other. First off, Sage has the classic face mold, which was the very first face mold that American Girl released with Samantha, Molly, and Kirsten. And it's kind of this like round face. And Grace has the Josefina face mold, which is more of like an oval. The chin is a little bit more pointed in my opinion, and it's like maybe more like a diamond shape or like a triangle shape, or I'm really bad at shapes. I'm not an artist, so I don't know my shapes that well. But so they do have different face molds. Also, Sage and Grace, technically their eyes are blue, but they are different shades of blue. Sage is really what I would describe as a turquoise blue. And I think Sage is unique in her eye color. I don't know if any other dolls have her exact eye color. And Grace is a pretty standard blue eye color. They both have the pinwheel eyes. I don't know if you're able to see, but as you can see, there's these kind of lines around the pupil of the eye. So the pupil is the black part of the eye, and then the blue part of the eye, the iris, has these kind of lines, and it looks like a pinwheel, like they're like angled lines. There is different dolls. A lot of dolls have the pinwheel eyes, but there's also dolls that have more intricate eyes. Another difference between Sage and Grace is that Sage has wavy, curly hair. She has these long, beautiful curls. Mine aren't that good right now because I just had it in a braid, but as you can see, it's very long and it's wavy. However, Grace's hair is a straight, very, very straight hair. Curve a little bit at the end, so it's not like a doll like Julie where it's like pin straight. Her hair does curve at the end, but mostly it's very, very straight compared to Sage, which is quite curly. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which the button will be linked in the description box below. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram for more updates on America Girl Doll news and photos of my collection. And also follow my TikTok because I've recently started posting on my TikTok again. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.